we are looking for ambassadors, neutrality ambassadors in each of the countries in which the LIF program has presence, also globally. We are going to select one ambassador per country, and these ambassadors, the community of neutrality ambassadors, are going to receive curated information, articles, and many more in order to better understand the net zero transition and better navigate this massive transition that is happening in the world.
Hi guys, super welcome to the LIF-E podcast of the Royal Academy of Engineering, and today we have José Vilcahuaman from Peru. So he's a LIFer from LIF-7 and he's the founder and co-founder and CEO of Neutrali. So José, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Ryan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here and to have this space in order to share some ideas and to share our journey being an entrepreneur. Thanks for the invitation.
Cool. José, so do you want to maybe talk about your startup or innovation, like a sentence for all the LIFers out there to get an idea, perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. In a nutshell, we are empowering engineers who are working on sustainable infrastructure and all of them who are working on advancing the net zero transition. That's what we do. We empower people, mainly engineers.
Okay, so empowering engineers, like, how do you do it? Is it like is it the platform? Is it like in what aspect or like how do you do it?
Yeah, we provide highly effective online education for these engineers so they can be well prepared to face different challenges, especially when things come to advancing the net zero transition, in which we need to reduce emissions, we need to develop more technologies. We are empowering mainly through training and in online, but also some kind of in-person training. We develop our own technology to do so.
Amazing, incredible. So these online training or offline training, depending on the requirement, is available on your website, which is neutrali.org, or you have some other place where. So is the classes online, or like is it one-to-one online, or like what kind of an online?
Yeah, that's a great question, Suraj. It's an online platform that we have developed. This platform is based on algorithms, so we can personalize our education to our customer needs. Basically, our students register for the course, and then they have access to different educational resources. But more importantly, they have the support of a mentor who is an expert in the specific field that the student is learning. So what we can do in a different way in comparison to our competitor, for example, is that we have developed our own platform from scratch, from nothing. So it's our technology, and it's that way that we believe is going to be more effective for our students.
Wow, amazing! I think LIF has got a lot of engineers out there, and I think a large chunk of us are working on the SDGs or the sustainable goals and all the aspects of it. So I think it can be super incredible for them. Just to go a little bit deeper, just this one level deeper, for the engineers out there across the globe or across there in Peru or in other countries, what are the languages available? So is it just in English and the local language, or do you have more language option for all these engineers across the world to consume the information?
That's a great question. Currently, our courses are being offered in Spanish language, but hopefully we're going to enter to new markets, such as the American market or even the British market. So in that stage, we expect to offer courses in English as well, which is going to be a key step for us in order to continue growing the business, growing the startup. Because as you said, this is a trend that is required for different type of engineers globally, not only for those who speak Spanish, but we are advancing and we are moving forward.
Wow. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting, and I think it's a very nice space to work on at this point of time. And I think kudos to you and all the best to you. And coming to the second aspect of what you're doing right now, or what I was going through, I was trying to get some understanding. I understood or I learned that you're also a part of another program in LIF, which is the LIF Technology Development Program. So maybe for the other LIFers out there who are alumni and because you've been an alumni and you've now got into this program. So congratulations, first of all. And secondly, what are the key learnings, or how did you get into it for other LIFers to know more about this program?
Yeah, that's a really great question, because being the LIF fellows, part of our communities, we have different opportunities to continue engaging with our different mentors, fellows, and also from the team from the Royal Academy of Engineering, specifically referring to the case of the LIF technology program. I went through a selection process. It was highly competitive. I guess I was referred to this program by my mentor, and thanks to that, I applied to this cohort. It took me different stages until I was selected finally to be part of the LIF Technology Development Program. The aims of this program is to help companies which are scaling, companies which have already had customers and have demonstrated that they managed to grow their numbers. The aim of the program is to help these companies to have partners in the UK in order to introduce their products into the UK market. In fact, one of the key questions they received from the interviewer in the selection process was what type of products you can offer in the UK, and what is your level of readiness that you at this stage you are in order to offer these courses in the UK market. In our case, hopefully we are ready because our technology is the same. We can customize the course. It's all about translating the content, and also we are discussing with the experts in the UK in order to have the mentors. So we are going to be ready to introduce our product in the UK market, in the European market as well.
Oh, wow, interesting. So the program helps you. So the program, obviously, as you said, is focused on LIFers out there who are ready to scale, who have set of customers, who are ready for the next level. However, how does the program helps you find a partner, or do you have to find a partner on your own, or they facilitate in terms of doing the matchmaking, or like how does it happen?
That's a really great question, because it helped me to explain more detail, and I'm sure that many of our listeners are going to be eager to learn more about this process. Basically, the type of support that we receive for this new program from the Academy is customized help and support in terms of the marketing design, the marketing piece that we need to reach out potential partners, but also investors. And in addition to this great benefits that we have as part of the program, we have the support of our mentor, a new mentor. We had one for the main LIF program, but also there is another one for this new program. So the combination of the support, the marketing support, a dedicated team to help us design the marketing pieces of communication, and also the mentor is the two main assets of this program. But we have to be can-do entrepreneurs in the end. We have to try to reach out the partners, and also our mentors are eager to give a hand if necessary. They are making the connections, making the introductions.
Oh, interesting. So you spoke about mentors a couple of times, so that gives a feel that though the mentors are incredibly bringing an amazing amount of value. So adding on to this aspect of the program, so what happens at the finale? So you spoke a little bit about investors. So are you pitching? Or like what happens at the finale of the technology program? And like
Yeah. Nowadays, I am reaching out and I'm having different and several meetings with potential partners, but also with investors. At the end of the program, we are going to have an in-person showcase in which we are going to have in-person meetings with our potential partners and with our investors or potential investors. This is a key stage, and from which we can continue engaging with our partners, collaborators, organizations from the UK, investors, in order to continue advancing towards to establish long-term collaboration. This is the aim of the program. It's not about a start and an end. It's about building the foundation to continue developing and to continue scaling the company. That is the showcase event in the UK is just a key milestone. Then we are going to work by ourselves and continue advancing to mature and to create more connections and more opportunities in the end.
Oh, interesting. So I'm super curious. So, and maybe the last question on this part of the program is, do you have to become a part of the program, do you have to shift your headquarters from Peru to London, or you can just open up a subsidiary, or you can do without creating a subsidiary in the UK? Like, in terms of the company, is like how do you have to go through? Like, which are the options? What is the right, like, what conditions are there? Yeah.
It's not mandatory, but in my way of thinking, it's highly advisable. In fact, one of the companies, of some of the companies that are participating in the LIF Technology Development Program are exploring the different options that they have to establish or to register the company in the UK. Because in the end, one of the aims of the program is to offer the products or the services in the UK in order to create value, not only to our communities, but also to where the Royal Academy of Engineering is, which is in the UK. So as I said, there are an initial point, there are a key point, which is the showcase in the UK and the showcase event in London City at the Academy. But this is just a part of the program. After that, we are expected to continue working by ourselves in order to secure investors or new customers or new partners. This is the support of the program, but we are supposed to continue working on introducing our products and services.
Wow. So I think that's pretty a lot of information. I think a lot's pretty interesting. I think, and now little bit zooming out, maybe like, for your journey aspect, like, so what inspired you to start Neutrally? Like, what have been the origins, and how did you come across the idea? And then how have you able to commercialize it? Like, so ideating is one, but commercialize is a different game. So so can you maybe talk about this journey?
Yeah, these are two great questions because it's important how we approach the initial steps of a business in order to commercialize our product and services. Specifically referring to your case, the first time that we were thinking about this idea was when we realized about the massive infrastructure gap that exists in developing countries, but also in developed ones. In developed countries, there are also infrastructure gaps because the population is growing and the infrastructure needs to grow as well in order to provide a good quality of life. That's the case. Just referring to the case of developing countries, the situation gets even worse because we need skilled professionals, workers in general, to build this infrastructure. When we realized of this problem, I was working for one of the major infrastructure projects here in Peru, which currently is providing to more than 5 million Peruvians with affordable and more sustainable electricity. And when I was working in that project, I realized that many engineers need a specific training to better work in this kind of projects. So that's why I explored that idea, and it was a good idea, but it wasn't enough because in the end, it's not only about providing knowledge or content. We have to do that in an effective way. That's why we explore different algorithms, mainly machine learning algorithms, to customize the product, or in this case, the courses, the online courses. So when you take the course, you feel that this course was prepared specifically for you, but it's thanks to the algorithm. So this is part of our story and how we start with this project that currently is our business or in our enterprise. About the second question, which is another great question, how we start to commercialize the product. Basically, we start offering our courses here locally, online courses, and it was easy to realize that the same need existed in other countries in the LATAM region. So we easily try to grow the business as soon as possible in order to introduce our products in different LATAM countries. And it was a great rewarding to know that our courses also match the needs of these engineers from other regions of the LATAM region and other countries as well. So this is a bit of our journey.
Wow, interesting. So trying to find out the idea and then trying to create more value and then customizing it and then going it there. Also, like how have you taken it across to maybe other countries or maybe with other programs? So how has that opportunity opened up, and what has been your experience so far in that aspect?
Yeah, even though we were a good fit for for other regions, other countries as well, I have to admit that it's not an easy process. It's not an effortless process. We need to work a lot on different type of aspects, starting from the type of approach that we are going to have while introducing the courses. There are cultural aspects, cultural difference. Even though we belong to the same region, there are differences. That is a reality. So how we do this process in the best way possible for us was to try to understand our difference first, and then to find the right marketing strategy for that market. For example, in the case of a specific country, we try to address our communication referring to the specific products that that country has. In this process, we also participate in other programs. For example, currently I am in Houston in the US, participating in the Young Leaders of the American Initiative program. Thanks to this program, exploring the American market as well. And thanks to these opportunities, we continue growing the company, the startup.
Wow, interesting. So, so you spoke about the different marketing strategies and becoming localized in terms of the countries that new country you might want to sell. And it feels almost like starting up a new company as well, because it's a whole different journey, in spite of the fact that you have already an aligned product in your country. So what are the pivots, or have there been very interesting learnings in this journey? Because I know you would have taken a lot of pivots. So maybe talk about one or two pivots which gave you a very different perspective, and what were the learnings from those pivots?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to share specifically one of the most important that we had through our journey. Initially, we were offering courses to better develop infrastructure projects mainly, because as I said earlier, we have massive infrastructure gaps. So we were trying to empower and help people how to better develop these kind of infrastructure projects, because unfortunately, most of them don't meet expectations, and that's reality. And in the end, it means that's a waste of money and time. So initially, we were offering only courses aimed at empowering people how to develop infrastructure projects. But in the middle, in the journey, we realized that it's not only about building more infrastructure. We need to be more sustainable infrastructure, because we are advancing towards efforts to have a net zero planet. And that's why we made these changes in order to be more effective, the most effective online platform in terms of net zero courses. So this is one of the major changes that we had. All our courses, regardless of the type of courses, had this at the heart, how we can better build our projects or work to become a net zero planet.
So I think that gives a strong understanding of a purpose at the core of the organization. And with this purpose in mind, like, how do you have a lot of LIFers that we have in the community are PhD scholars? They're doing their own research, and it's a massive task, to do research and then get into commercialization aspect. And you seem to have found that niche, tuned it, grown into your local ecosystem, and then now you're going different countries and trying to do it again there with a different flavor of the local flavor. So what advice do you have for all these LIFers out there who are in their journey of research, or they've completed the journey of research and in this path of commercialization? So what advice do you have for these guys?
Yeah, absolutely. One aspect is to have a great product in a laboratory, and one thing is completely different thing is to introduce that product into the real world, into the market, so our customers can use that product. That is a reality that we need to face. As you said, many members of our community are PhD scholars or engineers who are doing research projects. So that's the case of many of them. What I could say about that is it's vitally important to take some risk. If we are always on the safe side, we are not going to discover what our product or service can do in reality. So my main piece of advice would be try to even give it a whirl. I mean, try to test your product in the real market. it depends on the type of your product and the type of services. For example, in the case of digital products, it's easier in comparison to clinical products. That's absolutely the case. But somehow, and recognizing and being you the expert in your field, you are going to discover somehow in order to introduce, even to test your product in a real market. That's a very important to advance in this journey. If not, if we wait until the moment that we are completely ready, we are going to miss lots of opportunities, and that's not the case. We need to introduce and we need to advance our businesses or projects.
Interesting. So you speak about taking risk and not wait until the edge and then trying to explore to see what the solution can help on a larger market. So very interesting insights there. So what are your expectations from the network? Because you're slowly going from Peru to UK market, and your solution or your product is such that it's meant for the world because it's for a global impact use case. So are you looking at co-partnering with some LIFers across certain regions or certain parts, or are you looking at co-selling the solution with some LIFers in some segments, or else doing co-research, so are you looking at any of these aspects with any of the segments or any of the countries that you have in mind?
Yeah. One of the things that I like most about the community, the LIF community, is that we are based in different cities around the world. It's a great thing. It's a unique thing of our community. Specifically referring to the question, we're interested in learning insights from as many countries as we can, because once we have more information, more pieces of information about each of the countries, we are going to define which countries are the next in our expansion plan. And so basically, I am eager to learn from each of your countries, dear LIF members, and at the same time, I'm eager to share insights from where we are operating, not only Peru, but also Latin American country, and also now that we're exploring the American market. Because in the end, that's one of the values of the community, sharing knowledge, exchange practices, and that's why we are part of this amazing community.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I think that's, so you spoke about the breadth of it. So I think, yes, because LIF is again across 17 countries, very intellectual, fellows from the cohort, and what you're seeking is something like a co-research in the aspect of maybe aligning with one LIFer from one country and then maybe trying to do a market research together to understand expectation setting and then trying to
absolutely
a feedback loop, right? So
absolutely.
Okay. So LIFers are from we have Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, India, Romania, Barbados, a lot of countries, Peru, obviously, Colombia, Mexico. So do you have certain zones in the world or certain countries that you would prioritize or do a call out to? I mean, do you have or within that maybe some segments in mind or broader aspect?
Yeah, I have some idea in mind. Specifically, even though we're interested in the whole spectrum of different countries that are part of the LIF community, we would like to engage with some LIF members from the Middle East, because being the Middle East one of the energy hubs in the world, they have this massive task in order to abate or reduce emissions. So that would be great to get to know some LIF member from that part of the world. But as I said, we are also keen on engaging with all the LIF members who are interested in sharing insights and sharing this or exchange best practices.
Perfect, amazing. And now coming to a lighter note, so we asked this question to all the LIFers who come to the podcast, if you could have a superpower, what would that superpower be and why?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Honestly speaking, and I have never thought in detail about this question. I'm going to just what I feel now is that I would like to have a power in which I could have the opportunity to speak with many people as possible in terms to learn different ways of thinking, different ways of approaching the same problem, because in that way we can nurture our own way of thinking. And that way, in the reality, I also try to do this, because we need to better embrace diversity, different ways of thinking to create better products, better solutions, better businesses, and in the end, a better world. That would be my superpower, to have these kind of conversations in depth with people about different ways of learning or thinking and approaching different problems.
Wow, very interesting. So I think so embracing diversity in today's time and then using that as a leverage or as an opportunity is a very interesting superpower, and trying to reach out to as many people as possible as we are growing with the population as well. So I think that's pretty interesting. So coming to maybe the last part of the segment of the podcast, where we would want to know that after LIF, because you're a part of LIF-7, what has been your success stories, or like maybe where LIF has contributed to your success, or your startup has gained some success in different insights. So if you could share some of the success stories after LIF, then it would be interesting for us to hear.
Yeah, Nashil, I would like to be completely clear. The LIF program was a transformative program for us, not only for the knowledge, the content of the program, also because we had the opportunity to meet our mentor. It was a really valuable experience for us. About our successes after our first participation in the LIF community of the LIF program, which was the LIF-7 program, we growth our numbers. Currently, we have over 15,000 students from all Latin America, and we are continue growing their numbers very, very quickly. And that's a thing that we are very proud of. But also we have the support, and we are participating in amazing programs globally. For example, as I was explaining a bit earlier, currently I am in Houston in the US because I'm participating in the Young Leaders of American Initiative program, which is the flagship program of the US Department of State for business leaders from the Americas. Thanks to these programs, I'm traveling to the US, I'm exploring the American market, I'm going to work with a partner, which is a university in Chicago City. And then finally, I will participate in a closing ceremony in Washington, D.C. with high-level networking events. So this is our successes. And part of this is thanks to the foundation that we receive from the LIF program. Also, these kind of opportunities just to discuss or exchange ideas, as in this case, in this LIF episode, is a great opportunities to continue feeling proud of our community and to continue contributing to the community, but at the same time, and learning from the community. So I am really grateful to have been invited as well.
Oh, wow. And I think you're growing incredibly well in terms of creating these dots in the UK and now creating dots in the US, and then maybe later at the same time connecting the dots and trying to grow your company and eventually creating a better world and trying to create a broader impact with more and more students learning from the course. I think that's pretty incredible in terms of how we are building on this success faster. Coming to the last question that we want certain inputs from you is that so the cohorts in LIF, every year you have cohorts and you have different from countries going on. So as an alumni, we right now have a LIF advisory council of around seven advisors who are again alumni members, and they put together, try to ideate and come to ideas on how we could further engage the community. Because diversity, time zones, we are all in different stages of our development. We have different requirements. So do you have some activities in mind that the alumni can take up to engage with LIFers at large, and in that journey create value for them?
Yeah, that is a great question, because I wholeheartedly believe that we have a lot of value within our community. As you said, we are diverse in terms of our backgrounds, the type of project that we are currently developing. So that means that we have a lot of value. What I could suggest is to perhaps to create topics on the LIF Innovators platform in order to engage specifically within a topic. For example, LIF members who are interested in sustainability, health projects, and digital projects. In that way, we can spark conversations and hopefully some kind of collaboration. But also this LIF podcast, it's well aligned to this purpose, because we are exploring different topics, different business entrepreneurs, of course, all of us are engineers or projects and pros are based on engineering and this. One of the most amazing things that we have in our businesses because our innovations are based in engineering and most of our are engineers. So, so that's great as well. But perhaps creating topics will be helpful.
Oh, very interesting. So again, at the core for us is to use the platform and to make it more wider, usable, and also we have this close-knit community. So we want that engagement to also happen, and I think it's a brilliant idea. And I'm definitely going to share it with our community manager that we have as Luke, and then with the advisory council as well, and to share and see what topics we could have and what what ideas we could bring around and what we can. But again, a nice idea in terms of how we could start engaging. So again, Jose, thank you so much for your time, and it's been amazing to listen to your journey and the successes that you have been bringing to your company. And again, wish you all the best in the US and the UK market, scaling up your product, and again in the UK, pitching to the investors for the new program at the LIF that you're a part of. Congratulations once again, and all the best to you, and thank you for being a part of the podcast and sharing so much interesting insights to the LIFers out there.
That was absolutely pleasure. The pleasure was mine. And it was also a great honor. And thanks for your good wishes. I hope to continue collaborating and continue engaging with your community. Thanks again, Surab. It was a nice time sharing on some thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you, Jose.